Ah.
Billy wanted to work. He really did. In fact, Billy has wanted to work for the past 6 months. But here's the weird part. Why does your brain happily spend 3 hours scrolling? Yet an act like writing an email is equivalent to climbing Mount Everest.
No, Kevin.
Why can you watch 47 short videos in a row? But reading 10 pages of a book feels emotionally devastating. And why does discipline seem so difficult when some people genuinely appear to enjoy it? What if the reason you keep procrastinating has nothing to do with laziness? What if your brain has simply been trained to prefer easy rewards over meaningful ones? And what if the exact same system making you avoid hard work could be rewired to make you want it?
Bacao!
Because that's not motivational nonsense. That's neuroscience. And once Billy discovered what was actually happening inside his brain, he realized something shocking. His lack of discipline wasn't the problem. His dopamine system was. Chapter 1. Billy discovers his brain is an economist. What Billy didn't realize was that his brain operates like an incredibly cheap accountant. Every action gets evaluated instantly. Work on project, workout, read a book. Now compare that to scrolling social media. Billy always thought he was making conscious decisions. In reality, his brain was constantly asking one question: what's the best return on energy investment? And unfortunately, modern technology has become exceptionally good at gaming that system. Thousands of engineers, psychologists, and designers have spent years figuring out how to keep Billy engaged. Billy never stood a chance. Chapter 2. The Dopamine Misunderstanding. Like most people, Billy thought dopamine was the pleasure chemical. This is incorrect. About as incorrect as calling a shopping cart a race car. Dopamine isn't pleasure. Dopamine is anticipation. It's the thing that makes you want something. And this changes everything. Because when Billy scrolls social media, he doesn't know what comes next. Maybe it's funny, maybe it's shocking, maybe it's a raccoon driving a golf cart. Nobody knows. Not even Billy. And because every swipe might reveal something interesting, his brain releases dopamine. Not because he found the reward, because he's searching for it. Which explains why people can spend 3 hours scrolling and remember absolutely none of it. The reward wasn't the content, the reward was the hunt. Chapter 3. Billy accidentally turns his brain into a TikTok addict. Then things got worse, because Billy's brain adapted. This is where neuroscience gets slightly rude. You see, when your brain receives constant, easy stimulation, it starts reducing its sensitivity. Scientists call this downregulation. Normal people call it, why does everything suddenly feel boring? Activities that once felt rewarding start feeling dull. Work feels harder. Exercise feels harder. Studying feels harder. Existing without stimulation feels harder. Not because Billy became lazy, because his brain had been recalibrated to expect constant rewards every few seconds. His dopamine system had basically become a spoiled child, and now it wanted entertainment delivered immediately. Chapter 4. Billy discovers dopamine detoxes. 3 tabs open, 27 tabs unrelated, 1 tab explaining dopamine detoxes. This is where Billy discovered something that sounded either incredibly smart or completely made up. Dopamine detox. No, because if Billy removed all dopamine, Billy would become a decorative houseplant. The goal isn't removing dopamine. The goal is removing hyper-stimulating sources of dopamine, things that deliver massive rewards for almost no effort. Billy was beginning to feel personally attacked. Imagine your brain's reward system is a speaker. For years, Billy had been blasting it at maximum volume. Videos, notifications, games, scrolling, infinite entertainment. So when real life showed up, work, exercise, reading, conversation, it felt unbearably quiet. The dopamine detox wasn't about becoming a monk. It was about turning the volume down long enough for normal life to sound interesting again. Chapter 5. The 3 Days of Mild Psychological Chaos.
No, Kevin.
The first day was not elegant. Billy had removed social media, short-form videos, random scrolling, and now his brain was responding exactly the way a spoiled toddler responds when someone removes unlimited candy. Poorly.
Ah,
There was nothing to check,
minadua. Spita.
still nothing. For the first few days, Billy felt restless, irritable, bored, anxious. His brain interpreted the absence of stimulation as an emergency, which sounds ridiculous. But from the brain's perspective, something very important had disappeared: the constant stream of rewards. For the first time in years, Billy was alone with his thoughts. Billy immediately discovered why he had been avoiding this. Chapter 6. Billy's brain starts fighting back.
Ah,
Most people quit here, right before things start working, because they mistake withdrawal for failure. But Billy kept going, mostly because he was too stubborn to admit defeat. And something strange started happening. Reads 10 pages, then 20, then 30. Nobody was more surprised than Billy. The same book that felt painfully boring a week earlier suddenly held his attention. Not because the book changed, because Billy's brain changed. The reward system was recalibrating. The volume was returning to normal. And for the first time in a long time, ordinary activities started feeling rewarding again. Yes, people have been enjoying books for several centuries. Billy had simply forgotten. Chapter 7. The Weird Moment. Hard work stops feeling terrible. Here's what nobody tells you. When your brain becomes less dependent on instant rewards, it starts finding satisfaction elsewhere. At first, these activities felt dull, but every repetition strengthened new neural pathways. Every workout, every focused work session, every difficult task completed. Billy's brain was learning something important. Effort itself could lead to rewards, and unlike scrolling, the reward didn't disappear immediately afterward. There was accomplishment, progress, confidence, energy. Things algorithms are remarkably bad at providing. Chapter 8. Pleasure versus satisfaction. Billy eventually discovered these were not the same thing. Pleasure is immediate, easy, effortless, a notification, a snack, a funny video, a dopamine hit. Satisfaction is different. It arrives later, after effort, after resistance, after discomfort. Pleasure says, feel good right now. Satisfaction says, feel proud afterward. And here's the twist. The things Billy remembered most, the things that made him happiest, the things that built confidence, were almost never the easiest things. They were usually the hardest. Chapter 9. Billy declares war on his environment. Then Billy realized something uncomfortable. His environment was winning every day. He kept blaming willpower, but willpower was being forced into combat every 5 minutes against billion-dollar attention machines, which is like bringing a spoon to a tank battle. So Billy stopped relying on motivation. Instead, he redesigned his environment. The distractions became harder to access. The important things became easier to start. Workout clothes already prepared, books visible, phone hidden, healthy food available. The goal wasn't becoming stronger. The goal was making bad decisions more annoying. Chapter 10. The People Around Billy. Then Billy noticed something else. People are contagious. Not biologically, usually. Behaviorally, absolutely. Spend enough time around people who constantly seek distractions, and distractions start feeling normal. Spend enough time around focused people, and focus starts feeling normal. Your brain copies far more than it realizes, which means your environment isn't just places, it's people. Chapter 11. The moment everything clicked. A few weeks later, Billy noticed something impossible. He actually wanted to work, not always, not perfectly, but more often than before. Projects felt interesting. Exercise felt rewarding. Reading felt enjoyable. And distractions? They hadn't disappeared. They just lost some of their power. The urge was still there, but it wasn't in control anymore. Chapter 12. What freedom actually looks like. Most people think freedom means doing whatever you want. Billy discovered something different. Freedom is being able to do what matters even when something easier is available. Because before this process, his attention belonged to whoever captured it first. Algorithms, notifications, endless feeds, random distractions. Now, his attention belonged to him, and that changed everything.